Shri Guru Yatindra Raghavendraya Paramapujya Avatar Avadhut Jagat Guru Shri Datta Ganapat Sachidananda Shri Ramakrishna Paramahansa Maharaj Sharda Mataye Ramana Maharshi Mahavatar Babaji Maharaj Lahiri Mahasaya Yukteswar Giri Yogananda Gauranga Nitai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Trailinga Maharaja Bhet Narayana Sadashiva Brahmendra Maharaja Neem Karoli Baba Maharaja Adi Guru Shankaracharya Chandrasekhara Saraswati Maharaja Nagajata Jayalakshmi Mata Jilelamudi Mata Anandamayi Anagha Sameta Gurudatta Maharaja Tara Mata ki Jaya ho Jaya ho. Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye. Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye. Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye. Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye. Dear all Dattasai devotees and divine associates of Jaya Nama Guna Sankeerthana, today also we have been blessed to continue our Satsanga by relearning the autobiography of a yogi. And as a part of Bhakti Kriya Yoga, through our Jaya Nama Guna Sankirtana, we have been blessed to continue the Satsanga of chapter 2, My Mother's Death and the Mystic Amulet. So, Samastha Guru Mandali and ours Paramahansa Jagadguru Yogananda Maharaja and ours Mahavatar Babaji Maharaj blessed us to continue the Satsanga even today. So, till what extent we have been blessed yesterday. So, take the first available train at 4 o'clock this morning, rush to Kolkata. If you would see me, the wraith like figure vanished. So, father, mother is dying. The terror in my tone aroused him instantly. I sobbed out the fatal tidings. Never mind the hallucination of yours. Father gave his characteristic negation to any situation. Your mother is in excellent health. If we get any bad news, we shall leave tomorrow. You shall never forget yourself for not starting now, father. Yogda Maharaja telling to his father. Anguish caused me to add bitterly, nor shall I ever forgive you. So, yesterday we have been relearning that Yogda Maharaja tried to tap his father and tell that mother is dying, and mother also Yogda Maharaja had a ominous vision, but father did not accept it, and he says that it is only hallucination, not the real ominous vision, because our Paramahamsa Jagadguru Yogda Maharaja is incarnation. He had a super conscious awareness, and we also relearned that number one, consciousness; number two, subconsciousness; number three, super consciousness. And now the satsanga continues like this. The melancholy morning came with explicit words. Mother dangerously ill. Marriage postponed. Come at once. Look at that. So the melancholy morning means like characterized by very sad and gloomy, very dejected mood, like often involved with sadness, despair, so on and so forth. So that day, that morning, with explicit words stating that mother dangerously ill. They did not mention that our Yogda Maharaja mother expired. So they said that mother is not feeling well. Immediately you start. Now, and they also mentioned that marriage is postponed because mama is ill. Father and I left distractedly. So the whole concentration was not there for both. Our Yogda Maharaja and Bhagavati Charan Ghosh, father of Yogda Maharaja. Both were distracted from the focus because they were thinking what would have happened to mother Yogda Maharaja, what happened to wife Gyan Prabha Ghosh Mata, mother. Like this, both were distracted in their focus and they have started. One of my uncles met us en route at a transfer point. So when they have started from Bareilly to Kolkata, there is a transfer point in the rail station or so forth. Isn't it? Yogda Maharaja did not bless us we can, because Babaji Maharaj and Yogda Maharaj is blessing Jaya Guna Sankeerthana, it was understood that there is a transfer point en route from one track to another or one rail to another rail. One of my uncles met us. So one of Yogda Maharaja's uncle met in between. A train thundered toward us, looming with telescopic increase. They are disappointed, distracted. Yogda Maharaja, because he understood that a purely sadness or were feeling very heavy in the heart, and almost they are in dejected mood. They don't want to think about anything because such a circumstance or such a situation it is. So Yogda Maharaja is blessing us to relearn that a train thundered toward us, looming with telescopic increase. That means uh, sudden, because Yogda Maharaja and as well as father were suffering pain and turmoil, one kind of a turmoil. We don't know what happened. And it also because he had a ominous vision. Probably our Yogda Maharaja is thinking that Mama is ill or expired. If that is the case, because Mama came and said, Yogda Maharaja. So he was thinking either it can be a profound loss of my mother, whether she's alive or not, like that, fully distracted. They were really in turmoil. Now, from my inner tumult, an abrupt determination arose to hurl myself on the railway tracks. Now, Yogda Maharaja says that from my inner tumult, that means inner feelings that we call it as, inside the negative vibrations, and very, very dukh. In Sanskrit, we call it as dukh. Dukh means very, very sorrowfulness. No, he started thinking about it, and abrupt determination. So he also been experienced Mama Darshan, Gyan Prabha Ghosh. So he hurled himself, like thinking back on the railway tracks, already bereft. I felt of my mother. I could not endure a world suddenly bare to the bone. So Yogda Maharaja says, or barren to the bone. He says that he's started, because there are both Yogda Maharaja and as well as father were in very feelings of sadness. They are very, very, despair, dejected mood. And he started, our Yogda Maharaja started thinking and already bereft. That means it is almost saddening news that Mama is not well. And at the same time, he would have also felt lonely because of Mama loss. However, any child would feel that. So there is no exception to even incarnations when they come with the body. That what Yogda Maharaja is blessing us to relearn. And already bereft, I felt of my mother. I could not endure a word suddenly bare to the bone. Now he says that intense grief. He cannot because Mama is very, very friendly and very dearest on this earth to Yogda Maharaja. However, of course, for all the 8 children. But Yogda Maharaja is telling us that every mama would have same kind of compassion, love towards their children. So, mama, that he is feeling that the sudden loss or demise of mother or illness is deep rooted, absolute means the beauty of life is removed, like that. Yogda Maharaja is thinking, very saddening, very saddening. Then I loved mother as my dearest friend on earth. So Yogda Maharaja also loved to the core Mama. So what does it mean? What Yogda Maharaja is telling, instructing Jayanama Guna Sankirtan as a part of Bhakti Kriya Yoga is every child should have that bonding towards parents, because Because of them only, we are today. That's what we have to recollect. So, her solacing black eyes had been my refuge in the trifling tragedies of childhood. Why did Yogda Maharaja started instructing us that her solacing black eyes means she was very lovely and she was helping every time, and she also a right parenting has taken place. That's what Yogda Maharaja is telling us. A right parenting, mother has taken great responsibility of bringing up her children, like Yogda Maharaja and other siblings of Yogda Maharaja. So he says, her solacing black eyes. That means, like, an unconditional love. Solacing black eyes. That means Yogda Maharaja is telling that he could not forget the very unconditional love expressing eyes. So he says, and black eyes had been my refuge. So this what is trying to make us understand is, in the trifling tragedies of childhood, Yogda Maharaja is really helping us to relearn the autobiography of a yogi. Yogda Maharaja says that her solacing black eyes, that means that unconditional love. Mama, we don't know. Yogda Maharaj also doesn't know what happened. Everyone is telling that en route, uncle told that she's not well and marriage is postponed. Any person can easily understand that when marriage is postponed and she's ill, and this also been perceived by Yogda Maharaja. So, in trifling tragedies of childhood, what does it mean? Trifling childhood tragedies. Oh, what does it mean? Every child, generally, what happens is, in Shivana, not talking about right parenting hood. Trifling tragedies are often, especially from children's side, are discarded by the adults or parents. This is what we have to relearn is, Yogda Maharaja had been my refuge. Yogda Maharaja is telling that to the core, Mama was helping to address those trifling tragedies of childhood. So, in childhood, what happens? So many emotional things which will happen in little children. Please, number one, isn't it? So many emotional experiences they encounter, but they may not express it. Why? Outward maybe fear, or maybe thinking that how the parent or adult will take that. So what happens is they keep inside. This is a psychological pattern. So trifling tragedies at childhood were been very correctly, accurately addressed by Mama. So Jayanamogana Sankeerthana is specially instructed to relearn how to address this trifling tragedies of childhood and the implications if it doesn't uh, addressed properly at the young or childhood especially. So Appa says that these trifling tragedies almost they refer like deep anxieties, problems that children experience in childhood days, and which generally what happens is it may be unnoticed by the adults or parents for various reasons. It may not be for wantedly, but out of work schedules, out of busy schedules, out of lifestyle, out of family disturbances. Please understand, these trifling tragedies may occur. So, right parenting is very, very important. Now, they may be very, very small, this the experiences or uh, what do you say, like the problems, the deep felt anxieties, problems, maybe of very, 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 very little, but it has a greater impact on their living style. So, but what we are trying to understand is every right parent, especially, or every adult, should address, like Yogda Maharaja mother addressed the trifling tragedies of the childhood. So, yeah, anxieties, trauma, panic attacks, whatever it is, isn't it? So, they are, seems to be very, very small, but they have long impact experiences, which generally go unnoticed because children may not have that courage to share with the parents. This is very, 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 very important that we have to relearn from Yogda Maharaja. Now, see, if, for instance, what are the implications of not addressing the trifling tragedies of childhood? What happens now? They generally get into negative valence. So they try to get attracted to SNS, social networking sites. This is a challenge now to every parent. This is a challenge to every parent. Social networking sites, because children doesn't know what to be utilized by these social media channels or social media platforms. The adulthood, if they are, you know, if they have enough maturity, they know what to be extracted, what to be discarded. But because of this loneliness and the trifling tragedies which have been encountered in self, in the little child, they are not addressed properly, and they don't have those abilities to communicate to their parents or adults or anyone, then they become aloof. They become alone, and they purely depend upon social networking sites. Why? Because they wanted not to be separated from the uh, society in which they are thinking. That what. So he says, for instance, more usage of this uh, problematic use, in say, not more usage, problematic usage of SNS, social networking sites. That is the major problem now. Every parent is suffering. I mean, by the child behavior, isn't it? So we have both a negative effect and as well as positive effect. If it is properly used, then lot of information can be gathered, lot of learning can take place, creativity may increase, new perspective will crop up, new thinking, new ability, everything, if it is positive. Why? Because uh, positive valence. If it is negative side, then what happens? Generally, they feel alone, and uh, they feel that this is the one best alternative, that where I can, where I'm not being addressed properly by the elderly persons or adult persons, or in the home, at the home, by even parents, and so on. Now, so what happens is these we call, I mean, some uh, uh, going little extended satsanga, that this, what we call it as, like, compensatory model of problematic internet use. There is a great scholarly articles which have been published. So motivation for problematic online activities reflects unmet needs or psychological problems. What are unmet needs? Which the child has not been properly expressing. So, as a parent, to address these trifling tragedies of childhood, both the parents or adults in the home should give some time to the children. Not little time, not little time. We have to keep listening to their feelings. We shouldn't discard. They should not feel that they are not noticed. Little things, but deep impact. For instance, Shivanna would like to share a classic experience. Way back, way back when Shivanna was teaching in a class. So there were closely around 60 students, 60 students. And as a first hour, first class of that, Shivanna started asking the students about little about their background, their name, from which place they have come from or they hail. Little, just 2 or 3 minutes introduction to give that, in simpler words, breaking the ice, just to give that atmosphere of oneness. So people started a row, for instance, started from left row. People have started sharing. I am X and Y. My father is that. My father is this, like that. So slowly it went. Now please understand, everyone can be a human being, but being a good human being, God loves. God loves them only. Because if we are into too much, Shivana, if Shivana is in too much into material life, only selfishness, Shivana cannot understand, and these feelings of children may get unnoticed. Look at that. So people, students, one after one, 60 students, one after one, they started sharing. There was one student, she stood. She says, I am X and X. My name is this. I come from this background. Then everyone started telling. In that, please understand, in one that, I mean, in the classroom, one student told, my father is some higher position in police department. Please understand. So this was everyone, because everyone was only thinking about themselves, what to be told to the professor or teacher or lecturer, like that. So it would have got unnoticed. Some people would have noticed. Now one little girl, young, after intermediate, she noticed it. She stood and she says, I am X and Y. I come from this place. My mother tongue is this, like that. And she did not say about her parents. No, Shivana asked with mild, this thing, with love. Oh, why da? Why you're not telling about your parents? Sorry, is it anything? No, no, sir. Oh, okay. Then what is your father? She did not utter at least for 2 minutes. Please understand. You know how difficult is the situation to make her speak. So Shivanna thought that there is a reservation. She don't want to tell her about her parents. Now, what as a teacher Shivanna should do? Shivanna is not complaining or criticizing anyone. Shivanna thought, yes, this is the time, real leadership, real blessings of God. We have to make her comfortable. Then Shivanna says, oh, my dear little child, tell us, nothing to worry. Everyone is looking at you. We accept it. He says, with just dropped her face down without morale, with low morale. She says, my father is an auto driver. Look at that. Out of those 60, closely all 55 and above, or 58 participated, or 55, Shivana could not recollect it. Everyone got some status. So she doesn't want to say that he is an auto driver. Now, see, this probably people may feel that trifling tragedies only happens at childhood. No, at adulthood also it can happen. That's what Yogda Maharaj is telling us to relearn. Then Shivana says, oh my dear, everyone, I asked, oh sorry, Shivana asked everyone to clap, to clap. Everyone clapped. Says, how rich it is, how rich. Then I said, Baba, you have to feel happy, da, that your father is earning money very honestly by running an auto. Really, God promise. He is running auto and earning food for your family and for you. Please don't feel that it is of very little class. Do not feel, Pa. Do not feel. We all are there. No, you shouldn't feel. Then she ran into tears. I said, Shivana said, my dear, you have to feel ashamed. You have to feel bad when your father is irresponsible, when your father is depending upon the society, when your father is young, energetic, and he has got a physical energy and he's depending upon society, then you have to feel bad. If your father is a thief, you have to bother. You have to feel bad. What is this? Your father is a great responsible man. Out of little money, he sent you to this institute. You'll believe it or not, such a positive vibe, entire class clapped, and she ran into tears. Shivana recollects. In break time, she came and touched my feet, and then she asked me, Sir, what would have gone wrong in me? Why did not I express it? Then Shivana said, My dear, do not hurt. Yes, you have an ego. You have ego. That is the reason you are not accepting the reality. The ego, if you remove the ego, then you will accept the reality. At that little age, probably she would have not understood properly what is ego, that to this. But every time she was ventilating it high that my father is an auto driver, no issues. And see that. Even Shivana recollects that when she got placed, she brought father and mother to me, also, to Shivana also. He was very humble. Shivana stood when he came. He stood from his chair and made namaste. Oh, that person also felt very, very happy. Then he caught hold of my hand, oh, sorry, Shivana hand, and says, You have really encouraged my daughter like that. So, what Shivana would like to say is, trifling tragedies. If you wanted to be a good human being, don't think big, big things. Dreaming, dreaming, dreaming. Don't dream too much. You be practical. You be ethical. And when something happens, something comes to you, you react properly. You react properly. That's it. Oh, not you, Shivana. Shivana should react properly. This is a chance. If just imagine Shivana, only money, 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 class completed, attendance taken, ran off. Why God will bless Shivana? On what grounds God should bless Shivana? Please tell Shivana. On what grounds? Like any ordinary, not criticizing. Shivana, just class completed, portion completed, goodbye. Why all this introduction, that to this, like that? No. God will be never happy. It is, it has to be addressed. The situation is like that. So that what Yogda Maharaja says, Mother, her solacing black eyes had been my refuge. Every time, Mama with unconditional love, she would used to listen to Yogda Maharaja and address those trifling tragedies which have been experienced by Yogda. So what happens is this like, motivations. I mean, like, these kind of things, if they are heavy to the heart, they did not express it, it will lead to problematic behavior. And slowly that problematic behavior will jump onto online activities. They jump onto SNS, social networking sites. So this nothing but they are trying to, we can call it as coping strategies. They are trying to cope up because they did not express it. There is no one to listen, to whom we can share. See, a mature person, if suppose she won one big prize, he immediately wanted to phone someone. Shivanna thought no one is there to listen. Everyone is busy in their activity. Everyone. To whom I said, to whom should I say? So winning a trophy almost has resulted in losing morale. Look at that. But Shivanna at elder age, Shivanna thought, to whom should I say? These are prizes or surprises or nothing like that. Anything is God gift, matured. Shivanna at little age, no, probably these kind of uh, experiences may try to encourage the negative feelings and stressful life circumstances if they are not probably, uh, not probably or not properly addressed. So that will result in psychological distress and poor psychological well-being. So these trifling tragedies are very, very important. It shouldn't go unnoticed by adults and parents because they impact significantly impact the living style and the morale of, or it may result in problematic behavior. So generally, yes, some people say it is mental well-being. This is also one important. So we need to keep sharing. We need to keep talking. We need to keep listening. That is very, very important, especially to avoid and address these trifling tragedies. So what happens is, like, they use social media too much, thinking that offline no one is there to listen to me, and slowly they get on to FOMO is like, fear of missing out something I miss, like that. Slowly uh, they get on to these social networking sites and feel that, and they also try to experience the unseen experiences uh, because of their digital behavior, isn't it? Too much on social networking sites. They have not seen anything like that earlier because physical and digital, there is a lot of difference. So they're trying these, if they are not addressed no, properly, the trifling tragedies, the coping strategy they adopt is to escape from these negative emotions and a sense of being, uh, cope with offline. They get onto FOMO, fear of missing out. And in addition to that, generally, these children may also become sick by addiction. We call it as addiction, almost. Very, very danger, addiction. And like, they generally get satisfied by uh, learning someone is liking, someone is sharing, someone is posting it back, commenting it back, because they look for validation seeking, because there is no one to address in physical ground. They are getting encouraged on social ground, I mean social media grounds. Look at that. This seems to be, you all know this better than Shivanna, but Yogda Maharaja is telling us that you have to relearn how to address and what are the implications. So what happens is, like, and they lose self control. And of course, what happens if they lose self control? Self regulation skills are lost. They cannot regulate themselves. What happens? Too much use of this unseen, unknown, untoward, all these will lead to some kind of psychological uh, negative behavior. So they slowly start moving away from physical space. They get into the rooms where no one is there. Please understand psychological problems. They get into isolated rooms and they encourage themselves because they did not get appreciations in the real physical platform. No one is there to express or listen to their expressions. So they feel very happy. Someone is sharing, liking that to this in social media. They get excited. And slowly what happens? They get emotionally connected and it results in dark patterns like sleepless nights. You see, anyone who is using more of social media, they don't get proper sleep. That is the reason Jayanamuguna Sankeerthana will halt at 9:15 so that our devotees will have dinner and sleep by 10:30. 1 hour at least they should be away from our social media or Jayanamuguna Sankirtana or any social media platform. So, because the eyes, you might be thinking, what happens, Shivana, if 11 o'clock I will see? You see, but Shivana has to answer Paramatma. After dying, Shivana will go upstairs. God will ask, what thing you have done, Mr. Shivaya? He will ask, God will ask, you are making someone to continue your satsanga till 10:30, 11, bad, and it has affected their eyes. That papa, that sin, you have to lift. Why Shivana should fold his hands before God, loving God? So God should appreciate. That is the reason Jayanamura Sankirtan will get closed max by 9:30, so that 1 hour spare time is there, and they will finish their dinner and have a satsanga discussion once again and sleep well. Look at that. This probably these all are things which are blessed by God. Now what happens? They start neglecting uh, routines. If suppose morning early hours, the boy or girl child should go to school, they'll not go. They keep complaining about the school, classmates, teachers. Look at that. Because they have got addicted. No appreciations. Of course, everyone is different in this world. So parents should understand what is the pattern or what is the interest of the child. And if interest is not matching, especially Shivana is talking about middle class families, if it is not matching with our interests, with the child interest, parents' interest and child interest, there is a conflict. Then we have to tell them. We have to take time, counsel them. And slowly we have to inject. Baba, this is the good way, Baba. We know. Oh, thin, 10 kgs, thin. She says, I want to play cricket. Then father has to take responsibility. First, you you are now only 25 kgs. You become 40 kgs. We will see. Look at that. So physical structure, mental energies. When parents doesn't have time to understand their own children, they rely upon social networking sites. That's it. Message is very clear. So self belongingness is lost, isn't it? So this all we have to be very very careful. Now Appa says, yeah. Any doubts? You have any doubts? Oh. our Jainamaguna Sankirtana devotees are very great. They will never have doubts. Why? Because they have to listen fully to have doubts, isn't it? No doubts. And our Jainamaguna Sankirtana devotees have taken an oath that Shivana should not get good name. Shivana should not get fame. That is the reason. Like that, no problem, no problem. Our little devotees, very great. We all are one hand material life, one hand spiritual life. So, oh, now Yogda Maharaja is telling, does she yet live? I stopped for one last question to my uncle. So, en route, uncle came. Yogda Maharaja says, is does she's alive? Like that he asked. Now, I stopped for one last question. So, of course, in the conversation, he would have asked so many questions. How are the arrangements made? What happened? Like that. Which hospital you have taken, Mama? What happened to Mama? So there was no response from uncle because pure loss, demise, sudden demise of our Yogda Maharaja mother. How badly would have felt. Yeah, time is running short. Please, Jainamaguna Sankirtana devotees, Jainamaguna Sankirtana devotees are requested, all divine associates who are listening now and who will be listening potentially in coming days. Please write wherever you find a video, write your Guru Mantra so that it will inspire others. We will be, Shivanna or Jainamaguna Sankirtana will be very happy, including Mahavatar Babaji, Shivaya Gurave Rudraya Namaha. If you can write, so very, very, very happy. Shivaya Gurave Rudraya Namaha. 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 Shivaya Gurave Namaha. Shivaya Gurave Rudraya 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 Namaha. Shivayam 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 Shivaya Gurave Babaji Namaha. 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 Shivaya Gurave Rudraya 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 Namaha. Shivayam 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 Shivaya Gurave Babaji Namaha. 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 Shivaya Gurave Rudraya 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 Namaha. Shivayam 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 Shivaya Gurave Babaji Namaha. Shivaya Gurave Babaji Namaha. Hari. समस्त गुरु मंडली की जय। समस्त गुरु मंडली की जय। समस्त गुरु मंडली की जय। अनगा दत्त महाराज की जय। अनगा दत्त महाराज की जय। अनगा दत्त महाराज की जय। तारा माता की जय। तारा माता की जय। तारा माता की जय। जय नाम गुण संकीर्तन की जय। जय नाम गुण संकीर्तन की जय। जय नाम गुण संकीर्तन की जय।